this is a really interesting exercise which I think we should read through together. So, this is a way to distinguish what is a psychiatric illness and what might be a character flaw. So, Joanna continually misses work because of hangovers from all-night drinking binges. Her boss also suspects Joanna of drinking at work. Due to these behaviours, Joanna's boss is ready to fire her. Paul walks into a cafe and wanders over to some strangers, pulls up a chair, introduces himself, and starts telling them about his life story. They all listen politely at first, but after a while start breaking out into smaller group conversations. At this point, Paul slams his drink down, shouts at them for being rude, demanding an apology. The cafe owner takes Paul to one side, asks him to calm down or leave. So, what criteria of psychiatric illness do these examples of behaviour demonstrate? Or what might just be a character flaw? So the ones I've highlighted are continually missing work. That's a symptom that we discussed earlier. So, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, and then you struggle to find employment, or you struggle to leave the house, and therefore you miss work. The second one is all-night drinking binges. So that sort of suggests some alcoholism or substance abuse issues, which is, again, psychiatric illness. Joanna's boss is ready to fire her, so clearly it's having an impact on her life and her role in society and her relationships with her employers. And then we move on to Paul's story. So I've highlighted Paul slams his drink down, which suggests sort of violent tendencies, maybe some aggressive tendencies, which we saw as a psychiatric illness. It was also a character flaw. He shouts at them for being rude, again, that sort of aggression, slight impulsivity, and he demands an apology. And then he is asked by the cafe owner to calm down or leave. So again, you can see he's showing certain traits which are impacting his relationships in a big way and impacting his role in society. He's being asked to leave a cafe. He's being basically shunned from society, you could say. So how do we classify this behaviour? Is it a psychiatric illness or is it just a character flaw? One way to do this, which is the DSM-5 way, is the categorical approach. So we categorise everything. It's either a disorder, it's either a psychiatric illness or it isn't. And you can see on the graph up here that these disorders are all very separate, and sometimes they will overlap. So disorder 3 and disorder 4 might overlap. So let's take depression and anxiety as an example. A lot of those symptoms will overlap, but they are mostly separate, and they are separate diagnoses and they have separate treatments. So the key things are there's a presence or there is an absence of symptoms, and there are qualitative differences between normal and abnormal. And this is an example of a diagnostic test for generalised anxiety that you'll see here. So again, here are some of the symptoms that you need to present with in order to get an anxiety diagnosis. 1. Being easily fatigued. 2. Difficulty concentrating. And 3. Irritability. What do you think about those symptoms in terms of normality and the way that we all experience those, right? Or are they just character flaws? So there's a slight difficulty in defining whether, does this mean someone has clinical anxiety, or does this mean someone is just going through a stressful time? Or potentially, maybe they're just someone that naturally is quite irritable.